Ever you know I love you, and the mountains that surround you, the heather and the streams where I played as a boy. Your mountains, they are so grand in my own dear native land. I love my own Evelyn, and it's there someday I'll stand. You may travel through Inchigira, neath the slopes of Carrigree. Look down upon Lochcarrow's lakes from the hill above Kimmy. Journey westwards to Ballingeary, 1 mile beyond Kilmore, and the church at Barra that is known through one door. Even you know I love you, and the mountains that surround you, the heather and the stream where I played as a boy. Your mountains, they are so grand in my own native land. I love my own and there someday I'll stand. From the heights of faith, or wave along the sunlit road, the river must walk till Barry, the lights you never see, and again when I was morning to the vale on sweet Saltee. Even wherever you go, I love you, the mountains that surround you, the heather and the stream where I played as a boy. Your mountains, they are so grand in my own dear native land. I love my own Evelyn, and it's fair someday I'll stand. I love my own Evelyn, and it's fair someday I'll stand.
Hello Joe, how are you? Are you ready for summer now? Yeah, ready for new concert. God said it's going to take over when you see it. Larry told me that, but anyway, I won't mind, I'm still talking to him. Are we live on the mic here? Yeah. I think him is good knows my cousin on the radio. So no, we'll welcome everybody that's watching in tonight to Ballingeary, isn't it? Are you rolling? You are? Yeah. Grand. Well, no, we'll give them a round of applause for coming to us to start off anyway. Well, we'd like to welcome all the listeners of the local television programme, and we're welcoming them especially to St Finbara and St Ronan's social evening here this evening in Ballingeary. And we're very grateful for Larry and for Dermot to provide the music and the background for us here this evening, and they usually keep the spirits up. Larry is a bit on my case this evening. He told me that I don't right to go to the barber first before I came here. But that reminds me of the story about the fellow that was getting married, you see, and he went to get his hair cut anyway, and the barber was a kind of an angry old lad, and he said, where are you going? He said, I'm getting married, he said. A very bad idea, he said. I tried it once myself and it wasn't a very successful business, he said. And he said, tell me, he said, where are you getting married? He said, we're getting married, and go on. Well, he said, you'll be rained out of it, he said, and it'll be fierce cold. And then, of course, you're having your reception, we'll say Creedon's. You won't like that either, he said, because I won't be right there either. And tell me then, where are you going for the honeymoon? Oh, we're going to Rome. Well, he said, you're an awful Egypt. He said, you think you'll see the Pope, he said. But he'll be like a postage stamp way up in the distance. That's what you'll see when you'll go to Rome. So anyway, a few months passed, and my man came home from getting married. And the hair had grown, so I went in again to the barber anyway, and he was getting his hair cut. And the barber said, I think I met you before. He said, you did? He said, I was the fellow that was getting married, and you were advising me not to. Well, he said, we had a great day. He said, the weather was fine, and Gogan was gorgeous. He said, we had a grand dinner, he said. And he said, we went to Rome, he said, and we knew someone in the Vatican, and they gave us a private audience with the Pope. And he said, what did the Pope say to you when he met you? He looked at me, he said, in the name of God, he said, who cut your hair? So now, Larry, you could be blamed for that joke now. Anyway, any visit to these parts of the country, we'd have to sing a local song to welcome people to the parish of Ballingeary. And I have a verse of something native anyway, I'll sing that. Caution Glennon came in Ballingeary Shavimsha Marine and Fees on Ihe Come sheer Collig Shoal Ig Macnov Shalom Fenig Ig Inov Masmointa Ig Eish to a Guildov Lebing gone and on. By the valley of Kemeny in Ballingeary I live, where the deer come at night for its rest, thinking of my life, composing my thoughts, listening to the sweet birds singing and the wind blowing in the trees. So this song was made out here in Kemeny, just not too far from where we are tonight. And of course, I can't leave my own side of the parish down either without giving you a verse from I greet you proud, Ballingeary's sons and daughters fair and true, assembled at the Southern Club, old friendships to renew. This annual opportunity I loathe to let it pass, ere I recite a tale tonight of my Inchigil lass. She was as modest as the cooing dove, as gentle as the fawn, that rose o'er Desmond's storied heights, those highlands o'er Gugan. No goddess fair in Grecian air, in beauty could surpass my winsome rose, my marine oak, my Inchigil lass. Like all the boys along the lea, I joined a rebel band, and pledged myself to freedom's cause for her dear old motherland. An outlaw I was forced to flee from Kemeny's famed pass, thus forced to flee from Erin's Lee and my Inchigil lass. We'll sing more of it as the night goes on, but we have a long night ahead of us here yet, and we have a lot of musicians and singers, and we have a special guest or two that came all the way to see us tonight, and you'll be meeting her now as we go along. And I have great news for a lot of our people that are here tonight. We won't be seeing ourselves at all on TV because we're in a black spot here, for local television. But all these other people around Macroom and Kilmarnock that'll be looking in, they'll be admiring the fine scenery that's here around Ballingeary tonight. And look, a good start over there, along there. They're the choice in Ballingeary here tonight now. They're the Ballingeary singers. Well, for tons of white gold, we won't tell their name. We're going to call on our first singer of the evening, and Martin, will you honour us with a song? I'd have to go with Martin McSweeney. Will I hold it for you there?
Do you, we were four lads from Munster who worked in New York, from Kerry and Limerick, from Clare and from Cork. 'Twas a wild Patrick's night, we were out on a tear, when first we met Rusty from Castletownbere. A middle-aged wino, he was down and forlorn, his face like his clothes looked lived in and worn, his eyes so like lustre from the booze and despair would light up when he talked about Castletownbere, where the fields of Bear Island was such emerald green. Long and sure he would go with his dark-eyed Colleen, where life was so simple, so peaceful back there. On the threshold of heaven was Castletownbere. Then on weekends we'd see him and invite him along. How we'd love to join in for a good Irish song, but then he'd fall silent with his eyes tightly closed, and we knew he'd be thinking of that place he so loved. For one day at the races we bet on a horse, a 50-1 chance that galloped home first. Mr. Crack and excitement, we hit on a plan to make our friend Rusty one right happy man. So we dressed him like gentry, drove him down to the plain. The delight on his face was a sight to be seen. His voice went all husky, down his cheek rolled a tear. He said, "Thanks, lads," and flew home to Castletownbere, where the fields of Bear Island was such emerald green. Long and sure he would go with his dark-eyed Colleen, where life was so simple, so peaceful back there. On the threshold of heaven was Castletownbere. On the threshold of heaven was Castletownbere.
Well done. We had Martin McSweeney. Well done, Martin. And we're going to sing another song for just a minute. We'll come back to you. Nancy, will you sing us a little song? You're down here as maybe we'll sing the Foxy Fair Moustache. And I will... Is that the other wrong Nancy? Have we another Nancy here? We have that sing. Will you sing it for us now, or will you? She will, of course. She won't. She's given me the 50. I think she. We've got no, sir. You all knew Tom Taylor, and Tom Taylor was a great man to tell a yarn and a story. But he used to have a verse, and it was something like the same thing, a foxy fair moustache. And I think I can think of it. And what it was, she married him for his fair beard, and he married her for her purse of gold. Young ladies, take my advice and don't be rash, and marry those false young men with their foxy fair moustache. So it was more or less the same verse today, but Tom used to have it to warn a lot of the ladies that be thinking getting married to stay single, and to stay at home and make tea for him.
Once I loved a handsome young fellow, I loved him as dear as life. I thought that he would come someday, and that I would be his wife. His pockets, they were full of gold, and he could an awful dash. He had a diamond ring, a watch and chain, and a foxy fair moustache. He came to me the other night, he stayed all night till 3. He said he loved no other one, as dear as he loved me. He said we live in the grandest style, for that he had lots of cash, and to my lips he gently pressed his foxy fair moustache. The other day there came a sour old maid, she was worth her weight in gold. She had false hair, she wore false teeth, she was 49 years old. Truly he deserted me, all for the old maid's cash. And as you know, I lost my beau and his foxy fair moustache. They are living now by the way in Ascension Castle lore. She married him for his fair moustache, and he married her for her gold. So all you maids take warning now, and do not be so rash. Beware of all those shy young lads and their foxy fair moustache.
Well, no, we'll balance that off here because there's another man here and he's looking out for a woman. And he's the singer song there.
No,
We're going to have Ty Glary now and he's going to sing I Am a Young Fella. And he is a very lively lad indeed. sing one verse with him. I get him all up tonight in the camera. That's all right, Joe.
I am a young fellow that ran out of land and means. Is Culach on Ballina Horoctum Banastri. I placed my affections on one who had a golden store. Is Yallas the Manger, Golan and Leifin good yore. Then we made up our minds with each other for to elope. Skadurag ma chapel gainil ma vile store. I met my love just at the appointed place. She dianam ver chashel sodder man on life. It was there I accosted my juvenile jovial dame. My yellidach nangus and couple the bar limb. I being in a hurry, I asked her to mount the mare. She dwell cheap on sucker, time corriganol and brain. When we came into Cashel, she called for a quart of ale. Corkadon couples going le parshing fear. She opened her purse and she took out a note to change. Sneer Agamir Cashel, Gummadin her Irian life. It is there we arranged with the captain to sail away. The yeldas ma chapel sagart o Proshton clay. The boat was but ready, the weather was fine and fair. This Rushamir Talav gone iris gone avail. When we came into London, the police they were on the quays. Barn to she scream, agus telegraph news on near. We both were arrested and sent to the county jail. Scríocht ar nash go Cuan mala on our hoosh real. The day of the trial, her mother she swore severe. Gonol ma dilling is a genacht le moin a tail. Her daughter was simple and I was a scheming regis. Gorwallis and bobbir ganist and sail goleer. The barrister read out the will that her father made. His dear dish a boss she rake gan spray. She said, I was the most handsome, genteel young swain, na fosach of Valert, gurfi she's von grey. The trial being over, my true love I didn't embrace. Is was the unsagert chonechangelt le grana clear. He put on the knot, and 'twas easy he got his change. Agus madam goes sauce to their cutting the shoes feder.
Rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home, and if you don't like me, just leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. I've been a moonshiner for many a year, I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. I go to some hollow, I sit up and still, and I'll make you a gallon for $2 bill. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long way from home, and if you don't like me, just leave me alone. I eat when I'm hungry, I drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I live till I die. I go to some fellow in this country, 10 gallons of wash and I go on a spree. No one to follow and the world is all mine, and I love them so well as I love my moonshine. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home, and if you don't like me, just leave me alone. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I live till I die. Now it's moonshine for Liza, moonshine for May, it's moonshine for June, and she'll sing all the day. Moonshine for me breakfast, moonshine for me tea, oh moonshine me hearties, it's moonshine for me. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home, but if you don't like me, just leave me alone. I eat when I'm hungry, I drink when I'm dry, and if moonshine don't kill me, I live till I die.
We have another nice singer here near us, and he has a few songs prepared for us tonight, and he might sing one of them, John Kelleher.
I will pick one out, or I must admit one. Or
Yeah.
I was requested earlier on to sing the pool song, so I suppose
Good man.
I do that.
We'll jump into the pool.
I
Thanks, John.
I do what I'm told. The pole song. May the Lord upon high, who rules the sky, look down on our pubs and bars. For the people therein, both women and men, are neglecting their pints and their jars. Oh, the crack it is bad, the atmosphere sad. Every man has a face like a mule, and all he can do is to grab an old cue and start playing that game of pool. When I was a boy, 'twas always my joy to visit the pub each night. There was arguments, scraps, and killings perhaps, and everyone thought he was right. There was badgers and dogs, and men from the bogs, and the young fellas acting the fool. But now there's no crack, for every man jack has his arse in the airplane pool. In the rural alehouse, after milking the cows, every customer made his way, and there they did dwell and drink till they fell, while the fiddles and pipes they did play. Oh, the jigs and the reels and the rattling of wheels and the polkas and slides were the rule. But now there's no chance of a tune or a dance, 'cause everyone's playing dull pole. Now this pole you will find is a game designed for foolish illiterate louts. Who puts in for bob and press an old knob, and a big shower of balls they come out. They're placed on the table, and then if you're able to knock 'em all into a hole, more money goes in, you start over again, and you lose every bob of your dole. In the Irish Free State, all the people are bait from watching and playing this game. In their necks they have tricks which no doctor can fix, and their backs and their shoulders are maimed. Their arses protrude in a manner most lewd from being hoisted aloft in the air, and their eyeballs are sore and dripping in gore, and they act in a manner most queer. So if you meet a young man whose face it is wan, and his eyes have a vacant stare, if his jawbone is slack and his head is thrown back, and he can't tell a cob from a mare, with his nostrils dilated, his head corrugated, his manners like those of a fool, then you're sure you can bet that you have just met a man that's gone right here from Pope.
We're going to go back up here now to Nancy Hallisey, and maybe Nancy will sing a little verse of a song. Wait a minute, we'll wait now a second. Right, are you nearly there now again?
Right.
Yeah. Fairly well.
Oh, fare thee well, Ireland, my own dear native land. It breaks my heart to see friends part, for it's then that the teardrops fall. I'm on my way to America, will I e'er see my home once more? For now I leave my own true love on Paddy's green shamrock shore. The ship she lies at anchor, she's standing by the quay. May fortune bright shine out each night as we sail over the sea. Many ships were lost, many lives it cost, on the journey that lies before. With a tear in my eye, I'm bidding goodbye to Paddy's green shamrock shore. so fare thee well, my own true love, I'll think of you night and day. And a place in my mind you surely will find, although I am so far away. Though I being alone, far away from my home, I'll think of the good times once more, until the day I can make my way back to Paddy's green shamrock shore. And now the ship is on the waves, may heaven protect us all. With the wind in the sail, we surely can't fail on this voyage to Baltimore. But my parents and friends did wait till the end, till I could see them once more. I then took a chance for to have a glance at Paddy's green shamrock shore. That's it.
Good girl, Nancy. That's going to school on old school.
I don't know.
What about Kilbarry School, Kathleen? Used to really song going to school there?
Not that one anyway.
No, but who was teaching in your time in Kilbarry? Seamus Leary from Inchigeal, is it? Yeah. And I used to hear Connie Cronin talking about Sundays well in Kilbarry.
Oh yes.
I suppose you probably remember your mother going there?
I remember myself going there.
Yourself? Oh sure, you were there. There was a nice book written about it.
Yeah, there was.
And you were in the photograph at Sundays well.
That's right.
And Sundays well, it's a very popular place in Kilbarry. To the Holy Well, and I used to hear Connie Cronin saying his mother would go there a Sunday if she couldn't go to Mass. That's it, but it was a very popular place in olden times.
One time, yeah.
That's
one
it.
Time, not so much.
Where did Maureen go to school? In Ballingeary?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and I suppose you'd be very excited about Easter coming, when it come?
we were, yeah.
Yeah, and sure, I suppose there wasn't much sweets and chocolates going that time?
No.
What treat would you get for Easter Sunday then?
Not much.
But I suppose you might get a penny sweet or that time there were
penny bar.
Penny bar, that's right, yeah. And I suppose maybe it wasn't the penny bars you were watching out for at all, was it? Had you or I and a cousin of mine?
A cousin of yours?
Yes.
Ooh.
Your husband.
Oh, yes.
I suppose he was more of a treat for you for Easter. Did you meet going to school? He didn't.
Oh, I forget, no.
He used to go back to Gugan on the Sunday evening because you were in Gugan that time.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Well, now you see, I know everything that's been known. You spent many good few years in Gugan, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, and happy times. Tyke showed me photographs of you enjoying many happy Sunday evening in Gugan.
Tyke showed you?
Your son Tyke, he showed me photographs of you. They were in the journal as well, weren't they?
They were, yeah. Just a few.
Well, we're coming on now to another singer here, and did he go to Kilbarry School as well? He didn't know?
No.
What school did you go?
Castleview School.
Castleview in Macomb. And would you have cycled from...
No, walked it.
Walked it from Cloncarrick?
No, walked it from Tullatrade.
Tullatrade, right, sure, that's right, that was your home place.
That was my home place, and we walked it to be about 3 miles a day, 3 miles going
and 3 miles coming, imagine.
Correct, yeah.
You had the fall ground going, but you have to uphill coming home.
That's right, Mrs. Murphy was our principal.
Oh, indeed, yes.
Mrs. Castleview, and Mr. Vernon and Tullatrade, she was the teacher there. She was the teacher, first, second and third class.
Imagine, yeah.
So
Mrs. Murphy was trained with Miss Twig.
That's right, correct.
Yeah,
and she came here from Kilbarry, actually.
Imagine. She was Buckley.
She was Buckley, that's right.
She was relation of yours.
That's right. She was Buckley from
your godmother. Sure, things are getting very close.
That's right, yeah.
Now, you have a song, we want to sing us a song.
That's right, okay. Young men of Ireland who are anxious for hurling, a word of advice I will give unto you. Come down to Cork City to the athletic sports field, and there you'll find Christy, the pride of the Lee. 'Tis he'll show you hurling like Ken of Kilburn, the name of this hero, what memories he'll bring. From Galway to Dublin, from Barra to Malin, all Ireland is boasting about Old Christy Ring, for lifting and striking and doubling like lightning, both point and both boring, his praises we'll sing. He's hurling most glorious, he's always victorious, he's Cork's darling hurler, the Old Christy Ring. Great hurlers we have from all over the county, like Rocks, Udy, Colin, Sean Hogan, John Quirk, Jack Lynch of Glen Rovers, the Barras and the Redmonds, and the brave lads from Carrick that never saw to Tipperary's, Mick Stapleton, and of Kilkenny, the Rackers of Wexford and Galway's Mick King, John Lead of the Leases, Mick Mackey of Limerick, they all must give way to the Old Christy Ring, for lifting and striking and doubling like lightning, both point and both boring, his praises we'll sing. He's hurling most glorious, he's always victorious, he's Cork's darling hurler, the Old Christy Ring. Great hurlers we have from all over the Ireland. Eight medals he had, it's a record in hurling, and of hurlers we have, he must be surely the king. So boys all together in this last rousing chorus, 3 cheers for the might of the Old Christy Ring, for lifting and striking and doubling like lightning, both point and both boring, his praises we'll sing. He's hurling most glorious, he's always victorious, he's Cork's darling hurler, the Old Christy Ring.
We have it there, we're in trouble. Paddy's neighbour here is John, and John is going to put in a request that his wife, Nora O'Leary, is going to sing a song. So we're going to go to John. We'll see. What do you like to sing? We. What is it?
Attention, pay my country.
Okay, sorry, I was
Attention, pay my countrymen, and here's my native news. Although my song is sorrowful, I hope you'll me excuse. I left my peaceful residence, a foreign land to see, and I bid farewell to Donegal, likewise to Glenspilly. Some stalwart men around me stood, each comrade kind and true, and as I grasped each well-known hand to bid a last adieu, said I, my fellow countrymen, I hope you'll soon be free to raise the green flag proudly o'er the hills of Glenspilly.
Well done. Bravo. Woman. So that's even better again. There's the salt here. You could get the extra flavour in it. What about this lady? What school did you go to? I suppose you went to UCC, it said. She had better knowledge than UCC. And who were your teachers in Ballingeary?
Miss Cronin.
Oh, Miss Cronin. Yeah, that's right. And Miss Cronin, you know, I suppose she hasn't long passed away, but she was teaching up to the late 60s or into the early 70s?
I suppose she was. I'm not too certain.
Yeah. But he had to do all different things in the school that time, knitting and sewing as well. And you had separate girls' school in Ballingeary that time, wasn't it?
That's correct, yes.
That was where Frank's shop is now, was it?
The boys' school.
That was the boys'
there.
school.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And the girls' school was where
the corner.
The Colossus is now.
The Colossus is now.
Oh right, indeed. Yeah. I remember to see the sheep fair, and they used to have the sheep in front of the boys' school there. There was a pump there, and there was a nice semicircle there. There'd be 8 or 10 sheep tied in there inside, wasn't it? What about these ladies here? I suppose we'd want to check up on them too. To see, did you get your confirmation? We were talking about confirmation. Can you remember who was the bishop that time? Was it Bishop Lucy? Bishop Carlan, is it? Yeah. And we were talking about it there earlier on this evening. Fairly strict examinations for confirmation that time, which he got it the first time. Yeah. We were saying there, we have a story about somebody that he failed his confirmation exam, and when the bishop sent for him, he refused to go the second time. And we were saying, how did he get on? And the woman told me he never married, so he didn't need confirmation. What about these two over here? No, but we was asking him about, we weren't asking him about confirmation, but what about marriage? How many years now are you together?
66.
66?
No, we are not in 66.
It's like 1966. Actually, they're only children yet. Yeah. So they're properly married yet, isn't it? 66, 76, 86, 90. You're over 40 years, 42 years. Well, I hope that you see it, 50 of them anyway, and then after that we'll give you 6 months at a time. We'll go down here now, and we have a group of ladies down here at the end, and none of this will be happening except for all of them. And we'll only, if we could swing the camera around, because they're, well, these ladies, they don't want to say a bit for themselves because their work speaks for them. They've been organising this social every month. For how many years now have we gone?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
And there's more roguery than work goes on in this. We even get Santa Claus to come to it. And we're not so sure who Santa Claus is. They still don't know who Santa Claus is. They're very innocent that way. But they give him a great welcome when he comes to Ballingeary every year. And I know that for certain. Now, very near us there's a lady, and she's smiling on there, but she's actually our special guest for tonight, Peggy Lynch, and we're delighted that she came all the way over to us tonight, and she'll sing a song for us. Welcome around.
Now I'm going to sing this song, Padre Go. Sorry. Oh, Padre Go, what a true heart is beating in a breast that has weathered 9 decades of years, and fingers still fondling such fragrance of feeling, a thrill to the heart and sweet balm to the ears. A gift to the land in the dawn of your morning, where music doth mingle with cloud and with clay, and sweet swelling strains are forever adorning the songs from the soul of your native Cooley. In Cuan, where in bare feet you'd wander, to the wonder of music your young heart was drawn, and there every Sunday with Mikey you'd ponder, while you mastered the scale by the sounding salon. Then came the demand for your genius and skills. In townlands all round you were summoned to play. Like birds on the bough, all your turns and frills re-echo the sounds of your native Cooley. In Ballingeary your home was a credit, with your own lovely Nora your blessings to share. Your children's young children your gift to inherit, like music afloat in a soul-stirring prayer. There is beauty indeed in the little gifts that we treasure, when the spirit can feel what the heart cannot say, and still can behold each beautiful number lives on in the soul of your native Cooley. In the field of commerce you were equally daunting. Every footstep led forth to the paths of progress. In business ecumen no trifle was wanting. Your feet ever danced to the tunes of success. Oh, what if your music was destined to slumber? 'Twas sheltered in spirit, not meant to decay, but a fresh bursting forth, each beautiful number lives on in the soul of your native Goulet. Thank you.
We're going around the top, I think. Are we? We're getting tied up in our free agency. I won't tell you what we're doing next. The red light is on anyway, Bridie, so we'll have to say hello. Bridie is a neighbour of mine from Inchigeeda. She was Bridie Corcoran, and I was about 4 years old when I remembered the day of your wedding to Timmy. And there were 2 weddings in Inchigeeda that day, weren't there?
Sheila Cotter.
Yeah, and Connie Cotter, wasn't it? Yeah, Sheila and Connie, yeah. And Timmy and yourself. And I said, it was a very busy day for a small lad around the village because I was running from one wedding to the other. And I can remember to see your wedding over in Corcoran's in the farmhouse. And
Colin?
I'd say called in as well. Should we just go there twice a day for milk? We'd bring a bucket of milk from your house as well. Yeah. So now we have another woman that spent a bit of time in Inchigeeda as well, didn't you, Mary?
11 and a half.
11 and a half years, and you kept crotting us when you were down there.
I did, I knew every morning.
You did, of course, and you were with Dr. Collins, wasn't it?
I was, yes.
Yeah. And there were different times then. I said the only time you'd see the doctor that time was if there was a baby born or if there was someone dying, was it? Yeah. But a lot of people, the dispensary was next to the house, wasn't it?
Yes, the new dispensary.
Yeah, so you probably often, would you be called in the night time sometimes?
You would, you get calls in the night, you at the door.
Yes. And only to get up and get going, but people would come to the doctor rather than the doctor go to them at night. That time was it? Or?
Well, sometimes if there was emergency during the night, you'd have to get up and go.
Yeah. But you knew where nearly every house was in the parish.
Every house in the parish.
Yeah, so it was a great. He had a great assistant in you. You were able to tell him where to go. Yeah, Dr. Collins. Yeah, and he was a great man for music, wasn't he as well?
He was. Yes.
Plays,
he
wasn't
was
it?
The choir now.
And the choir. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it was. Bygone times. Well, now this lady's daughter is a neighbour of mine, Mrs. McCaffrey, and your son Justin was the man that led the team to the semi-final, isn't it? The All-Ireland semi-final, wasn't it, Justin? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he brought fame into Ballingeary, and the young active lady hurlers and footballers. Yeah, that did it. Yeah. So no, and there's another lady here. So she's a borderline case now. You see, she's halfway between Inchigeeda and Ballingeary. She's a blow-in too, but she's you're here now anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. And your children and grandchildren are here, so that's the way to say it.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying the night here anyhow.
Yeah, it's great.
And you're in great style. I'd say there'll be a lot of people phoning up to say where all these fashion items can be got. We were talking here earlier on in the night about confirmation and about lads getting confirmed. And we were saying that John B. Keane used to call a fellow that failed the examination for confirmation, he used to call him a bugadon. And that time we were saying was that you'd be 12 or 14 before you'd be confirmed. And that they were grown men before they left it anyhow. Where did you have your confirmation with it?
In Kilnamartyr.
Kilnamartyr. So you were Rainery School and then Kilnamartyr Parish. So was it was the Bishop of Clyne that was there that time? I suppose you probably got on easier in Clyne. Although Peggy was saying it was harder in Clyne than Cork, was it? That he used to get an examination in the church.
It used to be, I think, yes. I was to the school like I was.
Yeah.
I never had an examination in the church.
That's
before my time, I think
before
there
your
was.
time.
Yeah.
But you were saying there was a fellow that was examined.
Yeah, there was.
And that he failed his examination.
Yes, he did, and
the bishop taught him to come again.
Yeah, but he didn't, and I don't think he ever went back.
He was ever confirmed.
No, I don't think so.
But we were saying that he never married either, so that helped to me because
he didn't need it.
He didn't need confirmation. You finished with me? They're telling me to. Yes.
My granddaughter was
Your granddaughter was the captain, was it? Your granddaughter was playing in it.
She was playing it, Ronan Buckley.
There you are. And I'd say if you had football in your own day, you'd kick it well, would you?
We would have
Used to kick any football that time when you were young? He hadn't time. Well, I suppose he'd escape from home now and again, would you? I suppose you'd go to the dances and the Scríocht, is it?
That's right, yes.
And were there all-night dances that time? You weren't allowed to the all-nighters at all. That was Rain was a great place for the all-nighters, was it?
That's right, that's right, yeah.
And Peggy is after moving to a new home here now. We're in Barra, and you're going to enjoy many happy years here. We've got, is it 3 houses here, very near where we are here in Barra, and often the people from the parish come together here 2 or 3 days a week, and you have painting classes, and we have the Scríocht at night, and a card game, is it? Dinners, is it? And parties. But
2 days a week.
And dancing?
Yes, I thought I would.
Oh, well, no, the dancing is a danger, isn't it? They enjoy the dancing. Now, these 2 ladies here are sisters, and I suppose they're cousins of mine too. I have an awful lot of cousins here tonight. I'm claiming them anyway, they aren't claiming me at all. You're enjoying the night? That's the job. And there was a lady here that's a great dancer. She used to always grace the floor, and we won't forget departed friends this evening, but we're enjoying ourselves, and that's the best way we'll remember all our friends is to sing and tune. And singing or tuning, we have another musician here now, and he's going to sing us a song.
If you ever go across the sea to Ireland, though it may be at the closing of your day, please drop down and say a prayer for Mary Ellen in the sayweed at the bottom of the bay. For my Mary Ellen joined the civil service, and in the civil service, now you know, they've to do their correspondence all through Irish. 'Tis a language they're all supposed to know. So my Mary Ellen went to learn Irish off to the Aran Islands far away. But the boat, it struck a mine outside the harbour and sank down to the bottom of the bay. And that's the reason why I'm sad and lonely, and that's the reason why the skies are grey. For I can't forget the way she used to nag me, for she had a mouth the size of Galway Bay. Oh, her face 'twas like a coal shovel hold in places. Her hair was like a rib of last year's hay, and her nose 'twas like the beacon on the harbour that's used to guide the ships to Galway Bay. She could drink her 16 pints of Guinness porter and walk right home and wouldn't even sway. If the sea were stout instead of salty water, she would live and swim and die in Galway Bay. In my dreams I see her in its sunny Welshes, and when the barman said 'twas time to go, she would go outside and wouldn't speak in Gaelic, but the language that the clergy do not know. On her back she had tattooed a map of Ireland. She used to take a bath on Saturday, and as she rubbed the sunlight soap around by Claddagh, you could see the suds flow down to Galway Bay. And if there's going to be a life hereafter, and that's what all good clergy seem to say, I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in the seaweed at the bottom of the bay.
No, we get another singer. John, you're going to have to oblige you with another song there, and we have a musician coming in after that, sing another one of your selection.
And chance to choose the Barra.
To be good in a cold night.
In the sweet county Limerick, one cold winter's night, all the turf fires were burning when I first saw the light, and the drunken old midwife went tipsy with joy, as she danced round the floor with her slip of a boy, singing bang in the Moes na Gona, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, when I was a garçon of 8 years or so, with me book and me pencil to school I did go, to a dusty old schoolhouse without any door, where lay the schoolmaster lying drunk on the floor, singing bang in the Moes na Gona, and the juice of the barley for me. At the learning I wasn't such a genius, I'm thinking, but I soon met the master entirely at drinking. Not a wake or a wedding for 5 miles around, but myself in the corner was sure to be found, singing bang in the Moes na Gona, and the juice of the barley for me. One Sunday the priest read me out from the altar, saying you'll end up your days with your neck in a halter, and you'll dance a fine jig between heaven and hell, and his words that it fright me the truth for to tell, singing bang the Moes na Gona, and the juice of the barley for me. So the very next morning, as the dawn it did break, I went down to the vestry, the pledge for to take, and there in that room sat the priests in a bunch, round a big roaring fire, drinking tumblers of punch, singing bang in the Moes na Gona, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, from that day to this, I have wandered alone. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, with the sky for me roof and the earth for me floor, and I'll dance out me days drinking whiskey galore, singing bang in the Moes na Gona, and the juice of the barley for me.
Another man here, and he has an accordion, and he's going to play us a tune on the accordion. He has a waltz and a two-step, very good. And he's played at every waltz and wedding in the parish for the last 50 years. I'll put this on the mic. Jackie McCarthy. Steve, don't come up. There's a gear there, maybe in place. No, but you want no, that's it. I have to break. Will you hold it yourself?
I will.
How will I hold it for you?
No, I do it myself. Now everyone join in the chorus. Right? Right. Oh, to be in Doonery with the sweetheart I once knew, to stroll in the shade of a leafy glade where the rhododendrons grew, to sit with my love on the bridge above the rippling waterfall, to go back home, never more to roam, it's my dearest wish of all. If ever you go to Ireland, I'm sure you will agree to take the road from Dublin town way down to Doonery. You'll find a slumbering castle there, entwined in memory, in a shady nook by a winding brook. Will you make this wish for me? Oh, to be in Doonery with the sweetheart I once knew, to stroll in the shade of the leafy glade where the rhododendrons grew, to sit with my love on the bridge above the rippling waterfall, to go back home, never more to roam, it's my dearest wish of all. And if you take the hilly path to the wood where bluebells grow, where we as barefoot children played so many years ago, it's there you'll find a wishing well beyond the chestnut tree, beneath the swell of that wishing well. Will you make this wish for me? Oh, to be in Doonery with the sweetheart I once knew, to stroll in the shade of a leafy glade where the rhododendrons grew, to sit with my love on the bridge above the rippling waterfall, to go back home, never more to roam, it's my dearest wish of all.
We have some more visitors here now, and we'll ask one of them, see would he turn on the light. But I'm turn on the light. There's camera shy to tell us. You ready or not? You're going now.
Ready or
And
not?
I'm putting on the light. No, see.
Let Killarney have its lily, and Tralee its lovely rose. To me there is no fairer flower that in the wild would grow. She's fairer far than any star, she's a jewel in Kerry's crown. The pride of Erin's garden is the wild flower of the lawn. She's fairer far than any star, she's a jewel in Kerry's crown. The pride of Erin's garden is the wild flower of the lawn. I met her on the road to Cuan when I was 22. She said, "Young man, a favour I'm going to ask of you. As you roam the streets with your ballad cheese in the town of fame renowned, will you dance the set with the girl you met, your wife, Laura DeLong? She's fairer far than any star, she's a jewel in Kerry's crown. The pride of Erin's garden is the wild Laura DeLong. We sang and danced 3 days and nights
Your choice, number one. No.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks very much. Well, inish Tommy tagaha go di derni hi herish agus vi ihe sarúnta go gin inocht. Vi ni kjol tori agus na haurani agus na rinkori har var fad agus cad me jólar an ferretí. Joe. Níl rá ach mahu Joe mar dín tú jam adava fad. Agus inish tamid anevrik dív goléir as og takt Cuan inocht. We're after a terrific night. Our musicians, our singers, our dancers and all were on top form tonight, and he kept us entertained the whole night through. We have travelled many a highway tonight, I think, with our beautiful songs, which told great stories, great deeds done, talked about the beautiful culture and the beautiful landscape in Ireland. And listen, one of the main songs, I suppose, tonight was sung by Peggy. Peggy sang Padraig O'Creel, and there's no better place to have sang it than here in his native Ballingeary here. And very proud we were of the man, because he did wonders for this locality here. There are a lot of people to be thanked tonight, including the ladies here, who do all the baking, all the preparing, all the work that has to be done during the night and for weeks beforehand, before all our scrapes. We'd like to thank also our bus driver, Johnny, who brings us along in the loose and navigates through all the bins and the turns and twists along the roads coming, and brings us and carries us home safely. I think tonight, there's a special tribute due to all of yourselves, because if you didn't come here night after night to us, we wouldn't have a Scríocht. So a big bowl of bass for yourselves, because you're an extremely talented group of people, and you have enriched this club with your talents, which you give very, very freely to us here every night. And as I said, the songs were brilliant. Thank you, Jan, for that game of pool. Thank you, thank you, Paddy, for that game with Christy Ring. Thank you, Martin, for taking us to Castletown Bear, and all of you, Larry, for Galway Bay. Thank you all very much. And I think I'm a little bit conscious tonight of the people that we have lost in our club, the people that the Lord have called home. And some of those were very plucky, very talented people who shared their talents generously with us here every night that they came. So for them, for all of you, for Martin, for Peggy, who made a wish the last night that somebody would recite a poem, I'll try and say this little one, which is called Plucky Boy. Oh, I remember vividly that small boy on the stage, where he was singing splendidly, like he was middle-age. A rising star with golden voice, and so befitting was his choice. But when he reached the second verse, his mind just drew a blank. 100 times he did rehearse, but on the stage he shrank, and frightened he just stared on down at the large crowd from his hometown. Give him a big round of applause, the kindly MC said. We stood and cheered him off because his little face was red. We felt quite sorry for his plight, but understood the kid's stage fright. Before our plaudits died away, back on he came once more and started singing straight away from verse 1 to verse 4. Composed he stood behind the mic and sang his song, so polished like. We waited for the judge's call and wished him lots of luck, but most of us down in the hall would give him marks for pluck. Oh, how we raised the roof with joy! First prize goes to the plucky boy. So Anish bebid le kele rish le cún of day on visha coin and shot in Cuan Barra. August, before I go, I would like to wish Taig and Nancy O'Leary a happy 50th, a happy 50th wedding anniversary.
Here, here.
Taig and Nance aren't with us tonight, but what a milestone they have reached. So for Taig and Nance to me, happy anniversary. Agus Anish, Slán a Grif Galir, agus Bí Cormag, agus Tog Boge ar an Slia Valley. Slán Lib.
We're on the road again.
Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I see you in my dream. Last Saturday night I got married. My wife settled down. Me and my wife have parted. I'll take another stroll downtown. That's right. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I see you in my dream.
Stop your rambling, stop your gambling.
Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family. Set things by your wives like Charlie. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I see you in
Go on, say so.
We all sing together.
What do we sing? You tell us so.
Go on, anything.
Last Saturday night I got married, and me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parted, going to take a little stroll downtown. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I see you in my dreams. And sometimes I live in the city, and sometimes I live in the town, and sometimes I get a vacation to jump in the river and drown. Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I see you in my dreams. Stop your ranting, shut down and your yapping. Stop staying up late at night. Go home to your wife and family, and stay by the fireside night. Oh, Irene, good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I see you in my dreams. What about Hazy? Give me your answer to. I'm not crazy, but I love you. Only a stylish marriage, we can't get more than marriage. When you look sweet, come down the street on a bicycle wait for you. Go! Ronan. She